står där?
Jeg er Wulfgar.
He is Wulfgar,
Jeg er søn av en stor konge i nord.
son of King Hrothgar, a great king from the north.
Mødre og småbarn
He
ligger
comes to ask Bolvi for help.
fordi mennene ikke tør å arbeide
His
ute.
father's kingdom is under
The
attack.
character Bulvar
Their
is
village is
actually based
destroyed.
on
Det er bare døde folk
many
igjen.
They are
famous
menaced by an
characters,
ancient
mainly the lead singer for Whitesnake.
Det er bare redsel.
A terror that has no name.
Når man ikke kan
A
snakke.
terror that must not be named.
Hämta dödsängeln.
Bogart
Så kommer hit.
Mortis. He calls for the angel of death.
Now, you have to remember in this scene, this isn't a real angel of death. This is in fact a very old woman who was so disgusting that she was given her own tent in the end. But originally she changed with other cast members. It was disgusting.
He calls for the bones. She's an oracle.
Interestingly, she didn't choose to fall there. She was pushed deliberately. It made the scene much more intense.
It was quite awkward at the time,
For
but
men in number.
some part of the film.
She broke her hip, but the screaming was so, authentic. That we
The
decided to
months
keep
in
it.
their year, she
And,
says 13 men
all the
must
characters
fall.
really enjoyed how she got into it.
Hvem skal bli den første?
Vem vill vara den första man?
Jag är väl första.
In this scene, Bolvi is claiming to be the first human being ever created. A strange ritual that absolutely makes no sense at all.
Vi träder man.
Hvem skal bli den fjerde mannen?
They're actually drawing lots as well. Who will be the first to rape Antonio Banderas as the best-looking man in the town?
It's the Norse version of like a musical, you know? There are many characters and it usually ends in rape, but ultimately fun for family.
We're also doing a few references to Braveheart, including that ginger guy, who, as many fans will notice, has the worst possible Norse accent ever heard.
10.
Some might call it like
In America, it's interesting. No one knows the difference, so just throw in Vikings with any other kind of fucking whatever. We couldn't be bothered, so we got some pizza and some drinks, and the whole cast came into my trailer and watched every single one of them back to back. And we just thought, montage sequences, that's what this film needs. So most of the film will now be montage sequences.
like for example this language montage scene.
For når han var ung, vant han dette målet. Hvad For når han var
i Italien, Will?
Nei, ikke der. Nei, ikke der. Selvfølgelig vant han.
That was supposed to be cut. That was a racial slur that somehow made it past the censors. Very sorry for that.
Jeg vet ikke. Kanskje tomorrow.
Nå skal du høre. Så en herre går på klipp. Vil ha skip i land for Snake to steal 10 of 12 horses. Så kommer det beste. Så kommer det beste. Nå han
At
vil
this
gå.
point the cast started to speak English because they felt sorry for Antonio Banderas.
Well, it was really more just to fuck with him. He was trying so hard to sheer mental will to convince himself that he spoke Norse, that we threw in other words and made him feel as though he had really cracked the code in one night.
We honestly thought he was going to get blind. I mean, the sheer concentration of his
Run and
face.
slept with her while we took the horses.
No hearts go to you. She probably was some smoke-collared camp girl. Looked like that one's murder.
This one wasn't in the script at all. They had a genuine problem with each other.
Was pure woman. From a noble
In that scene we have one of the only pieces of footage of the character Dawson from Dawson's Creek as one of the 13 warriors. Most are never seen again.
Yeah. Well, he had some downtime, and you know, why not? Shame he's acting great. it didn't work out very well.
Come on. Where did you learn our language? I listened. But there's no cave. Yes.
He's that very prominent
There
Irish
is.
accent.
Yes, we kept asking him politely to stop doing
Straight
it. Told
into
him
the
it was a
rock
film
face.
set
When we
in
get
the,
to it.
They don't
the
keep
Lost
dogs.
Lands. He was having none of it. In the end, we just gave up.
It was particularly strange because he's Canadian.
Yes, a strange man, all told. We tried to have him killed in the film, but he unfortunately survived. In fact, it was Antonio with his martial arts background. He asked there to be more punches and kicks in the film. We were very happy with the ratio of stabs to gouges, but he said no, more kicks, and we certainly took that on board. In fact, when I signed on for the film, I was told that the Vendai, the enemies in the film, were actual bears, and I'm a big fan of hunting, and I would have loved to have been really, going after big bears, but sadly they were human beings. I only found this out when I went to the premiere. It was a real shock to me.
It's true, all men desire in their hearts to fight a bear.
Well, it's an everyday occurrence in Scandinavia still, to this day. This film is more like a kind of documentary than an actual feature piece. In fact, it was quite hard for Antonio to adapt to the harsh conditions. He genuinely believed that bears were trying to kill him. And in some cases, they were.
We jest. But
The
no,
scars were real. The extras in this scene playing the Vendai, they were under strict orders to beat the shit out of all of the main actors if they were seen. So it added a real tension to the scene that I think really shows up. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. We wanted that to. It would have been a lot of fun.
you really sense the fear in the eyes.
Come on.
That line, "fall out the bottom," was actually a slur on one of the cast who admitted to be gay. It was a real problem, and they had lots of fallings out. In the end, we had to cut both characters' screen time, including a love scene.
Indeed, it was quite historically true, since Norse were not particularly accepting of the homosexual ways.
Look at your feet.
Yes, yes. They weren't big fans. Even though some characters speak Greek, they don't speak that kind of Greek.
I believe it was only gay to push back in those circumstances.
I'm not man.
We actually shot on location this scene in Antonio's basement. He has a fetish. He claims they're not real, but I saw some weird shit, some very weird shit. In fact, most of the film was actually filmed on the Banderas estate in southern Spain. You wouldn't know it, but you know, many of the extras are just members of the Banderas family. One of the 13 warriors most people don't remember was drowned in this scene, for real, and had no friends or family, sort of like a prostitute, and no one particularly cared when he died. We just carried on, we said no one would notice, and no one ever has.
It's a real testament to how selfless people really are.
Yeah. It didn't really hurt the casting, the cast rather. It was these things happen on the film. People die.
It was important to really get the appreciation of fear that safety ropes were not used. I mean, it was as you see it.
Although we did have we did find some use for the dwarf Banderas that we had on Retainer. He was used in all of the action scenes. We used CGI to fill in long legs, but apart from that, Antonio did none of his own stunts.
If you look on the stunts, he has considerably shorter.
Yes, it's very noticeable in some scenes. It's like a hobbit fighting alongside a group of burly men. But we put Vaseline and smudged the screen and no one seems to notice. No one's quite sure why the Vendai would build an assault course as their home. I mean, earlier we see our characters, the main party, running around with torches, and then the next jumping in water. It was really a rip-roaring adventure, you know. We could have just walked right through, but we thought, no, this way is best.
We thought maybe it was for some sort of entertainment, this is of course, you know?
Originally the film was over in about 5 minutes. We found the cave, we went in, we killed everyone. It was fun, and but they said no, we must reshoot and reshoot.
It was racially insensitive.
The gay community was not responding to the constant slurs, so we had to retool. We had to cut the actual live bears, replace them with humans pretending to be bears. I don't think you can notice. I think we make it quite. Oh, here is the fight scene. One of many in the film in which we performed all of our own kills.
Indeed, all the people dying here were former homeless people.
Yes, the production actually teamed up with a Help the Homeless campaign. We totally lied to them, and we were actually providing meat for the Soylent Green factory.
So this is the final battle. Originally it was directed by Peter Jackson, but he dropped out due to commitment issues.
I mean, commitments with other films, not commitment issues. Aha, ha, ha.
Made a funny
Lo, there do I see my father.
It seems almost sacrilege to even speak of it.
Lo, there do I see my mother and my sisters and my brothers. There do I see the line of my
people, back to the beginning.
This scene, he decided to shout over everyone else, so really ruined it.
They do call to me.
Yes, that really powerful iron.
Take my place among them.
In the halls of Valhalla,
Where the brave
They live.
forever.
No stunt doubles were used in the entire fight scene. We just decided to let them have at it. It had been a long and difficult shoot, so we just said, boys, spill as much blood as you can, try not to hit Antonio in the face, and that was that.
And you can really feel it, the resentment coming across. There's always more homeless people.
Yes, we actually found a lot of Danish actors for the main parts, and then everyone else was made up of nations that typically hate the Danes, so we created a real resentment.
The Nigerians were particularly affected.
Referring, of course, to the 1912 Nigerian-Dane War. Not well documented.
Yeah, horns of power. You have such large muscular arms, Boba.
Well, you know, I worked very hard for this one scene in particular. They said, just give him a tap, and he will fall awkwardly off the horse and then maybe stab him. And I thought, fuck that. So I gave him a blue vice special, broke all of his ribs, and then stabbed him for real.
Again, it worked out great in the end.
We had to pay off his family a considerable sum, but I think it adds to the film. I didn't really like the guy. Dead now. Don't ever, visit the grave. But I think his kids are doing okay. I don't really know. Great movie though. Contrary to the normal standard, many horses were hurt during the making of this film. We wouldn't allow any representatives on the set, and so there were many horse culls by myself and the other actors. Antonio would go wild and just kill until his bloodlust was sated. We can see him here, covered in horse blood. He's in his trance of bloodlust. He would feel the power of the horses. He would wear horse heads and talk of how the horse lords commanded him from time to time. Funny guy.
I always found his berserker rage quite charming.
Really fit the role. The film was meant to be an NSA-funded project about the dangers of Muslims. So that's why there's a prominent Muslim character going apeshit crazy. In the end, we decided to tone it down and make it more inclusive. But in the special features, you can see all the cutscenes in which Antonio does that crazy la 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 shouting and beheads lots of horses.
I think maybe there's an Akbar in there too.
The Admiral, of course.
Oh yes, you see where they actually burnt you, brother. Let's get burnt again.
Yes, it was hell on my skin because I had to moisturize very often. It dries out quite quickly. But I recommend Nivea for men. Available at all good boots and body shop stores.
Of course, he did not apply it himself, being a Norse Viking warrior.
No, there were many beautiful women on the set. Even Antonio himself some days would come by and lather me up.
Do not be offended.
This scene, very emotional. I'm dead by this point. The audience no longer cares about the characters because I have passed away. He returns to his old clothes, and then racial epithets return. We see the character calling him an Arab.
He is now a Muslim again.
He has conquered his fear of blonde people. And will return home, even though he wasn't really supposed to be allowed to go home. I don't remember. I didn't watch the film.
I'm pretty sure he was banished or at least exiled.
Yes, but now everything's going well for him. Writing crazy symbols, talking to himself back in his homeland for some reason. I don't know.
I mean, he taught you that one phrase.
Yeah, I'm dead now, so let's just wrap this up.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you for having me and for giving that awesome pay packet.